Good morning and welcome to PJ Plant Talk. Today we're going to talk about the wonderful plant known as the air plant. I have different varieties of them. They come in all shapes and sizes. I have a ton of these little guys. They are from the Tillandsia family, also known as the bromeliads, kind of related to the pineapple. And they all come in different shapes and sizes. The most common one that you'll probably know is Spanish moss because it grows all in the south of the United States and Central and South America. First thing I'd like to talk about is how to care for these babies because they don't come with dirt. They don't like to be put in dirt. They'll actually rot if you put them in a little pot with soil. They are known as epiphytes. They'll attach themselves to a tree and just suck up the moisture from the air. These guys love that bright and direct light, and depending on the size, they like to be watered pretty oftenly. And when I mean watering, I mean dunking them in a container with water or buying those little air plant sprays and just spraying them every once in a while till they turn a darker green. These guys can also be mounted on cork or some sort of plank wood to replicate their natural environment. These guys actually do flower, but only once in their lifetime, and once they flower,
they die.
And I guess I'd like to show off a couple of the ones that I have. I have this Tillandsia xenographica, curly-haired air plant. I do also have a baby of that guy. This one right here, still curly as well. I have a bulbous air plant. I think this is the Tillandsia medusa. I have a big bundle of Spanish moss that I'll probably separate and put throughout the house. They also flower. These guys do flower. And a variety of these little small Tillandsias of different sizes and hairiness. Well, I like to display some of my smaller ones on this little piece of cork. I kind of just put them wherever they look nice. Just kind of set them up there and let them replicate their natural environment. There are also other ways to display them. You can just kind of have them laying on a shelf. They're basically just live decoration. And just got to take them down and water them every once in a while because you got to remember that these are still living things and they do need to be taken care of. They can't just be forgotten or they'll just crumple up and fall apart. Trust me, I've forgotten about a couple ones sometimes.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.
First step to watering your air plants is filling a container with some water. Preferably warm. They don't like to be watered with cold water. Grab all of them and just dunk them. And then you just kind of dip them in there. You can see little bubbles collecting on them. That means they're breathing. And they usually get like a darker color. You can see little bubbles collecting on them. And the final step of watering your air plants is letting them dry upside down because you don't want any water to get stuck on the inside or they'll rot and fall apart. So you basically just place them upside down on something and just let them dry there. Preferably overnight just to make sure everything gets out of there. Depending on your climate and your environment, you can just leave it for a couple minutes. Some of them will definitely be harder to place upside down. But as you can see, they have a darker color, especially the fuzzy one. You can't even see the fuzzy hairs because they're absorbing that water.